So how do you fund a biostasis contract? And as I mentioned in the last video, the cost of a cryopreservation is actually quite high. It's somewhere in the vicinity of 100 to 200 or sometimes even higher thousands of euros, right? So it's not necessarily super affordable, but there's a way to fund it via term life insurance. Now, term life insurance is a concept that some people are very familiar with, but some are also not super familiar with because it's not something that comes up necessarily every day. So term life insurance is practically a risk insurance, which means practically like a car insurance, right? You have an insurance for your car, and should something happen during the coverage period, then the insurance pays out whatever the damage is. With term life insurance, it works very similar. It's an insurance where you get a payout, or in the case of a biostasis contract, the cryopreservation company, for example us, gets the payout from this term life insurance contract, from this term life insurance, should you die, and then the money is being used to cover all the costs of the medical team and long-term storage and all of these things. Now, what's very important to remember with term life insurance is that it is term life insurance, so it has an end date. It's only a coverage for a certain amount of time. And this is why these subscriptions, these packages, our monthly costs can be so low. So as I said in my last video, 30, 50 or 100 euros a month. So relatively low compared to the cost of like 200,000 euros, what this cryopreservation costs. Now, the logic is usually that, and most people currently use term life insurance to fund their cryopreservation contracts. What you do, if you're relatively young, so let's say 30, 35, somewhere in that range, then taking out term life insurance is very, very affordable. And this is why it can also be that affordable. Now, you take out a term life insurance, and you can do that all through us, through our webpage as an option, but you can also sign up with your own term life insurance and then just provide that for funding for us. Now, if you limit the end date of your term life insurance to around 60, 65, 70, then you get these very low costs. Now the idea is that yes, after the end of the term life insurance, so let's assume after the age of 70, when the contract with the term life insurance ends, then at the age of 71 or 72, you do not have coverage anymore. So it only covers this period of time. Now after this coverage period, of course you need some other type of funding mechanism. And the logic here is that either most people who are 70 have significantly more net worth or personal wealth than they had when they're 30 or 35. So the young years, you can protect yourself and fund your term life, your cryopreservation contract through term life insurance. And then when you're older, you very likely have a higher probability of being able to pay out of pocket. And should that not be the case, we are working very, very actively on bringing the cost from a term life insurance for a cryopreservation contract from this 100 to 200,000 euro range into the, hopefully, let's say 10 years, 15 years in the future, into the 20-25,000 euro range. So at these prices, there's a high probability that you would be able in the future to just pay out of pocket. So in summary, when you're young, it makes sense to have a risk insurance to protect yourself against any edge case cancers or accidents or whatever might lead to your death at young age. And then when you're older, hopefully the price would have been is already significantly lower, even though of course we cannot guarantee that, or you would be able to pay out of pocket significantly easier due to having higher net worth. Since this is a very complex topic, we're more than happy, or reach out anytime, and we're more than happy to discuss this topic with you in more detail and give some background information and so on in person. In our next video, we're going to talk about how standby works and how this whole procedure actually works should it be needed.